So good evening everybody to tonight's multi-region training on the 21st of August, I think it is. Nice to have you all on Zoom tonight. I will just share my screen before we start. I don't know why we always say this, don't we, at the beginning? So play from the start. Oh, right. So there is only a little bit of housekeeping that I've had tonight, and that mainly is the AAC on the 2nd and 3rd of September. I think you can get, Jen, what are you doing? You can get your last minute tickets. I know the hype is going around now because everybody's getting the Gatsby dresses, hotel accommodations being sorted and everything like that. So it's really beginning to pick up. We've seen the pictures of the fab new Christmas range that's going to be launched. We've all had an email this week about speakers, where we are, what the halls are, everything like that. So it's really going to be 2 weeks. The excitement's going to get to us all, I think. So that's just a bit of housekeeping that I've had today for the dates for your diary. Oh, and I've gone the wrong way around, haven't I? We have a few new business builders to mention this week. I don't know what Danny's. I don't know what's happening, but anyway, sorry about that. I'm getting all messages over my screen. So new business builders, we have Emily Morris, sponsored by AMQ Stacey Blackley. Kelly Brown, sponsored by RVP Daniela Wells. Sarah Taylor Mason, sponsored by RVP Fiona McCarthy. And Tina Hansen, sponsored by, is it Nia Sharp? So well done everybody, and welcome to all the new business builders. So tonight's training is about be your own inspiration. So earlier this week, I was on the Wells Region area training call and I did a piece on inspiration. As I said then, this came about because I knew I was down to train and I just didn't know what to train on, and I felt myself getting really frustrated and annoyed. So I talked about the ways that could help you find some inspiration that you could use in your everyday life and in your Arbonne businesses. Well, inspirational has been going round and round in my head all week, mainly at 3 a.m. in the morning when I wake up, tossing and turning, throwing the covers off as I'm too hot, and then the next minute putting them back on as I'm too cold. That hence me in the top left-hand corner. I just wish I looked that good. This feeling will go over many of your heads. However, women of a certain age will know exactly what I mean. And the rest of you, at some time in your lives, will find out. Apart from the chaps on this call, so Dan and anybody else on this call, any chaps, you've got all this, you'll miss all this luckily enough. But if you have wives or girlfriends, then you will soon discover what it's all about. So after all this, I just thought I would carry on the theme to tonight's training. So out came the books, the iPad, looking on the net for something to help me. But I couldn't find what I wanted to. So all too soon, I began to recognise the signals. Then it hit me. Be your own inspiration. After all, it was in my head. I just needed to get it down on paper. So my first key point, just be yourself. Why was I going to the internet, books, looking at it was just most likely because, books, looking at it was most likely because I was thinking, I'm training, it will have to be good. I was beginning to put myself under pressure, thinking I wasn't going to be good enough. You know, I was going to think, oh, Jen does this slideshow, Danny does this, Fiona does this. And I was just beginning to put myself under pressure. I would be surprised if most of you haven't done this at some point. Let's all be truthful. I bet we have at some point. If we've been asked to do something, you just end up putting yourself under a lot of pressure, thinking you're just not going to be good enough. So have you been asked to take part in your first DA? Oh, I can't do that. I think we all say that, don't we? I can't do that. I can't do that. You know it all. You have been to a few and watched them online. But instantly you start to panic. The mere thought of standing up there is terrifying. You have the knowledge. What is it that is scaring you the most? Inside your head, you are comparing yourself to everyone else. You are stripping away your own brilliance. We are all individuals. We were all born and born differently, so we will all be slightly different. It's just like when you have a remake of a film. It's basically the same film, but there's different actors, different scripts, just slightly different. You may prefer one to the other, but basically they are the same. Each DA is the same. Just be yourself, make it your own. It is just like me and Sunday night's training. All of us that deliver the training, we all have our own styles. No way is the right way and no way is the wrong way. We just have the same objective to help and to inspire you. So, I don't know if you've been watching the Olympics like me over the past couple of weeks. As I was just saying, I'm really tired because I was up till 2:45 in the morning watching the racing. But we're all just like the athletes. They all have their own event, their goals. It may be like Mo Farah in the 10,000 metres. What were there 24 people in that race, all with the same finish line in their sights? But each athlete would have their own plan, their own routines and build up, their own tactics that they use for that race. However, the end result is the same. They all want to get over that finish line. We are on the same sort of journey. Our finish line is to reach MVP, to get our Mercedes and get on that plane to Maui. None of our journeys will be the same. Some of us may suffer an injury or two along the way. We may need to call the trainer, the physio, but we will soon be back on course. Mo Farah in his race was tripped and went flying. But what did he do? He got himself back up and carried on. It may have taken him a few laps to regain his composure, but he went on to finish the race. The thought of giving up would never have crossed his mind. I'm sure we have all had such events happen, people not turning up for events, even going on a holiday. What we then need is inspiring to get back on the track. So how can we do that? So what is inspiration? It is that elusive, magical, addictive, powerful force we all crave. And when you've got it, you feel unstoppable. But when it's gone, it's gone. When you've got inspiration, you're just flying, aren't you? But when it's gone, it's just the worst feeling at all. Everyone wants to know how to get it and how to stay inspired. I know the summer holidays have taken their toll on a few of us. Taking that time out and then finding when we get back, you just don't know where to start. I sort of saw Facebook messages and I thought I'd get back in it when I started. And then I just didn't know, it just became all too much. I just didn't know where to start from at all. So I would like to say the first thing would be to get going to events, gatherings. Car presentations are amazing. There is nothing like it to get that fire in your belly ignited. Sorry, I've just had internet connection problems come up. I hope you can all hear me. Get your fire in your belly ignited. I think we will always come away from a DA with a buzz. Thank you, Danny. So yeah, we all come away from a DA with a buzz. It reminds you of why you wanted to do this in the first place. Car presentations are the same. Just gathering with other people in your team, areas, regions, or even sidelines. It is just good to be around people with the same aim as you. Of course, we have AAC coming up and that will just be phenomenal. I know last year we said if we could bottle the feeling so we could just inhale it. I think we've all had a need of that this past few weeks. So yeah, go to as many gatherings as you can. Just look out for them and just go. And there's just a few pictures of some recent ones that I've been to. Another great way is to do the Ion Arbonne challenge and read a new one every day. I think it's like a 30-day challenge. If you just go on the site, there's a link on the Danny's Do More pinned post, the famous pinned post. But if you have any problems, obviously contact somebody and they can point you in the right direction. But read one every day, that will inspire you. Or if you've got the 35-year anniversary book, you can read many inspirational stories in there. And there's the book on the left, and I've just opened it up. That's the lovely Suzanne. That's her piece and a few photos. It's a lovely book to just flick through, and that will inspire you. So videos, there are just so many to choose, but some of the favourites, some of my favourites are the recordings that you get from GTC. They're up on the source. I've just taken a screenshot there of some, and last year's, you know, they're just great to have a watch of. There are even more on YouTube. There's AAC 2013. There's some really good ones. There's even Danny's videos. I mean, she's got hundreds, hasn't she, saved on her, so subscribe to her channel. It's amazing. The pinned post on the Do More and Hello Future pages has a whole array of videos, SoundClouds, anything that, any topic you want, whether it be on how to do presentations, products, you name it, it's just there. So, oh, hang on, sorry, I've got, yeah. So yeah, we have, oh, crikey. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do two things at once. So yeah, there's audios, there's SoundClouds, there's Donna Johnson SoundClouds, Go for Gold calls, CDs. I just love the Arbonne CDs, the Sojourner ones that are years old, but there's Cecilia Stoll, Anita Irwin, Julie Newcomb, to name a few. I know they've been burnt and passed around, but if you haven't listened to them and you'd like copies, then just get in contact with myself, Danny, or somebody else. We can always get you them, you know, get your copies to you, but they are really great to listen to. So another way to be inspired is to just help somebody in your team to do an event. They might want the help, they might like the help, they might like a bit of company. You can, if you're doing a product workshop at a house, you know, it'll leave the host more time to actually mingle to people and help people. But that will get you inspired. There's fantastic Ruth and Heidi yesterday doing a fete at Eastwell. I'm sure they had a great time there. And there's a couple, Katie and Helen in my team, they did a school fete. But it's just a way just to get in together, help each other, that will get you inspired. Another great one I found is just looking up inspirational quotes. And I've got a few pages saved liked on Facebook that I've made so that they show up first. So I see these first thing I go on Facebook. These are what I see on a daily basis. And it's just like, yeah, it's right, isn't it? You see that and you might be feeling a bit down in the dumps, but you flick on and you see something like, you are the inspiration, you are the solution, you are your motivation. And straight away, you know, you just feel a bit more inspired. You know, we go through Facebook and all too soon you can find you've spent hours just scrolling past, you know, somebody's moaning that the washing's got wet because it's raining, or the dog's done this, or the children's done that. And all too soon you get caught up in other people's lives and other people's drudgery. So just have a look at the fantastic inspirational quotes that you can find out there. Just remember, you are more capable than you think. You know, I put myself down a lot. I know I do. And, you know, people tell me that I am more capable than I think. Wake up, I like that. Wake up and smell the inspiration, and mainly believe in yourselves. So really, that is my training. You know, there are always ways that we can find inspiration. We just need to look at them. Just speak to other people. You know, I know a lot of people have suffered over the summer holidays. We've all lost that bit of mojo. So it's time to get it back and get on there and, you know, get back into business. So I hope that's helped a bit. I know it's been a little bit short tonight, not as long as some trainings, but mine do tend to be a little bit on the short side. So, ooh, what am I doing? So I was just checking on my chats, and now I'd like to, if Carlan, you can unmute yourself. We have that lovely Executive District Manager Carlan Carpenter, and she's going to tell us her why, which I've heard before, and it is phenomenal. You'll be blown away. And just listening to other people's whys is another inspiration. You know, remember why we are doing this business. So let me just stop sharing, and over to you, CJ.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Suzanne. And that was amazing training. I feel a bit like motivated myself. I haven't got children at school yet, but I've definitely felt the effects of the 6-week holidays and myself. Just everyone just kind of disappears. It's a bit strange. So yeah, so that was really good training. Thank you. So I'm going to just share my screen with you. Okay, so this is about my why and the bigger why. So the bigger why and why the why is bigger than me. So as Suzanne said, my name's Carlan. However, most people tend to call me CJ, and I joined Arbonne in 2015 in the April. I have a bit of a confession. My name's CJ. I was a follower, a non-replier, an excuse maker, a message dodger. I said no for 7 months, and I was that person that was going to join every single month and didn't. So please, if you have got somebody who is doing that, help them find their why and don't give up on them. After a year in the business, I'm now an executive district manager with a growing team and client base, and I will be in Area Qual by the 30th of September 2017, and I will complete by the 31st of October 2017, 1 year after completing district. I didn't complete Strong Start. I didn't graduate out of Grow Strong. I have only just started being close to a bonus in district. I've struggled with confidence. I've battled with rejection. I am passionate about ethics, so I have sent a lot of people back, and I've cried many times, and I've wanted to quit even more, but I haven't, and that's because my why is bigger than me. So my initial why, my initial reason for starting my Arbonne business was all about Harry. So my little dude, I really wanted to spend more time with him. I wanted to say yes to lunch dates. I wanted to say yes to birthday parties. I wanted to say yes to clubs and activities. I wanted to stop feeling worried if he was sick and how I would tell my boss that I needed the time off. I wanted to be wherever he needed me to be, whenever he needed me to be there. And most of all, I wanted to say yes to him becoming a big brother. I really wanted to extend our family. So I said yes to Arbonne, and 3 months ago, along came my beautiful second son, Samuel. So my why was to be in a position that meant that we could afford to have 2 children and be able to provide time and love to both. My why was to clear our debt and do some bits around the house and to learn to drive. The problem is these whys are me whys, and they are things that can happen if I stayed at a district. But regardless to if I was an Arbonne consultant or not, I would still be able to love and provide for my boys. To grow and not to give up, my why needs to grow. So the bigger why. I would like to introduce you to a very dear lady. This is my stepmom, Pam. Pam is also mum to my brother and mum to 2 beautiful sisters, Jessica and Lily. There's 9 years age gap between me and Pam, and there is 12 years between me and Jess and 18 years between me and Lily. Okay, so I met Pam when I was 15. She was in a long-term relationship with my dad, and when I came back into my dad's life, they were an already settled, established, happy family. Pam and my dad had Jessica, who at the time was 3, but my mum had left to go travelling, and I really wanted to re-establish a connection with my dad. Pam welcomed me with a big open heart. She took me in at only 25, and she helped me build bridges with my dad. Pam became my best friend. She helped and guided me through really tough times. She wiped my tears when I missed my mum, and she made the best cooked chips. She became my second mum. She loved and provided for me for years. In 2006, our little Lily arrived 4 days after my 18th birthday. She just turned our lives upside down. With her curly red hair and her fiery personality to match, she was born with the kindest soul and completed our family unit. Pam to me was everything you think that a stepmom wouldn't be. My own mum understood our relationship, and she accepted that I had been blessed with two mums. She was the lady who answered my 2 a.m. phone calls, and she guided me through broken relationships. Most importantly, she was the cement that kept us as a unit. She is truly the most remarkable lady I'll have ever met. So this is the last picture taken of Pam. In April 2013, Pam very sadly and very suddenly died in her sleep. Pam wasn't ill, and it was a shock to us all. My sisters Jessica, then 13, and Lily, then 6, had to wake up and source help in the street as they couldn't wake up their mum. My brother and I lost our best friend and our stepmum. No one could have prepared us for how this affected our lives at all. For personal reasons, the girls now live up north with their aunties, and I would have loved to have been in the position to have taken care of them. But with a small house and a baby on the way, I didn't meet the requirements. When Pam died, she had no will, she had no savings, she had no equity, she had no life insurance. She had a part-time job at Primark and rented a house off my mum. So she actually rented my family house because she was no longer with my dad. After she died, because she didn't have, she had nothing. And when we went and cleared the house, she literally had nothing. We didn't even realise how little she had. But she gave and gave and gave. It was remarkable, really. But we had to fundraise for a year to pay her funeral bill, and she still hasn't been laid to rest because we're still saving to pay for the plot and the headstone. So currently we still don't have anywhere to go and visit her, and it's now been 3 years since she died. And I've witnessed what not having all of these things, some things some people take for granted, does to a family. Like when you have nothing, so people on the other end of that makes that heartache, and it really affected our family, really affected our family. So I need to ensure, for the sake of my boys and for the girls, that this doesn't happen, and that this doesn't happen in my life, and that I can give back something to the girls. So my why is to give back. So I want to be able to put a trust fund in place should the girls want to go to uni and travel the world or buy a house. I want to fulfill their mum's dream of taking them to Disneyland. I want to be able to support them financially and emotionally, just as their mum did for me. At the beginning of this training, I told you about my boys and what I wanted to do as their mum. Well, these girls, my sisters, don't have a mum anymore. And I was able to witness the type of mum she would have been to them as they got older. I wanted to be able to give them this. I owe it to Pam for not giving up on me. So my why is bigger than an ignored message. It's bigger than a dissolved team. It's bigger than a no. It's bigger than a pyramid scheme. It's bigger than broken ethics. It's bigger than cancelled parties. It's bigger than cancelled one-to-ones. It's bigger than the fear and confidence and dyslexia. And it is bigger than me. My belief and my why are as big as each other. How big is your why? Make your why bigger than you and don't give up. So that's my training. Not my training, but my why, if you like. I've just been really fortunate. I've just had the girls here for 4 days, and our fun has already meant that I can start giving back to those girls. We've just had 4 days of so much fun. I'm on maternity leave pay now, and as many people will know, that's not a lot of money. So to have 2 girls that come in and eat me out of house and home and want to do different things, as well as my little boy, it's just been it's been lovely. But because of Arbonne and because I now have that second income, has meant that I've been able to spoil them. We've made pizzas and cakes and all sorts. We've gone out for lunches and I've been able to give them that. So it really does keep me going when things aren't great, because sometimes they're not. But you just got to keep focused on your bigger why. So there you go. That's from me.
That was absolutely phenomenal, CJ. Absolutely. The chat's been going mad, and I know when I do Zooms, I can't follow the chat and talk at the same time. So I'm going to go through some of the messages for you, okay? So Claire Russell-Smith says that Harry is gorgeous. And so does Rebecca, what a cutie. Jane Brown is love to you. CJ, from Ruth, rehearing your story gets me every time. And I know exactly what Ruth means. There's that lump to the throat. Even though I know what's coming, it's just amazing. And that bond you had with Pam and how you feel to those little girls. Oh, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Jane put, do you have a fundraising thing going on? She would love to donate to help you. Rebecca, CJ, love to you and your family. Laura, agree Ruth, CJ, you are amazing. I have tears in my eyes and a lump in my throat again. Kelly, lots of love to you and your lovely family, CJ. Danny, amazing story, always touches me so much to the very core. Vic, what a wonderful, incredible why. I have a knot in my stomach. You need a hanky, don't you? I wish I could give you one. You're just amazing, CJ. Sylvia, oh my, OMG, what that a story. Lots of love. Emma, what an amazing story and a big why. Big love to you all. Danny, CJ is just the kindest human. She is Arbonne through and through. And Claire House, they're typing like mad. I can't keep up. Claire, oh my gosh, CJ, that's so emotional. What a fantastic why and a great reason to work your business. You've got a fantastic heart. Claire Slaney, amazing. Tony, amazing. Oh, amazing Zoom tonight. Thank you, Tony. And Kaylee, just wow, lots of love. Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing your why with us, CJ. I know I sort of asked you at the last minute, but TJL, you were an inspiration. So yeah, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. You know, that last part where, you know, your why is bigger than a no, and that is just great. I think everybody sort of needs their own copy of that in their mind just to remind us of our whys. But I'm no doubt you will certainly get there, and I can't wait to be at your car presentation. Definitely, you are truly, truly phenomenal, and we will party like mad. So,
oh, bless you all. Thank you. I'm going to mute off now because I get a bit embarrassed, but bless you all. Thank you.
Don't get embarrassed at all. You are amazing. So that's the end of tonight's training call. So thank you everybody for coming on. I hope it's helped a little bit. I hope it's helped to give you all that little bit of inspiration back that we all need to remember why we're doing this, you know, and just be you. Stop putting ourselves down. Stop even trying to copy other people, because we're all different. You know, we all do things slightly different, and embrace that. You know, don't be afraid of it. So thank you all very much for being on the call, and I will stop the recording.